You may be seated. Shabbat Shalom to everyone.
Shalom.
Welcome.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome back. Welcome for those who it's your first time. It's Shabbat. Almost. So I guess we're on-ramping, but we're at Parshat Tzav. We're in the book of Vayikra, and it is a riveting book of sacrifices. And in our tradition, it's actually the book where our children are supposed to start learning. It's the book where, because it may seemingly on the surface be the hardest to get really into because of the sacrifices, and it's pretty gory, but it's also the place where the learning starts, and also where we can connect in deep, deep ways to our tradition and also to God. The entire idea of a sacrifice is to get closer. Korban, karov, the root there of the kuf, vet, and resh is all about getting closer and coming closer. And we have in our parsha, as we do in many in Vayikra, a list of the sacrifices that we get. And toward the middle of our parasha this week, we are taught about the Zevach Shlamav, which is the sacrifice of peace, a peace offering, and it's also connected very deeply to the sacrifice of hoda'ah, of gratitude, which is something I've been thinking about and exploring. I'm teaching a class for parents called Parenting as a Spiritual Practice, where really it's just us working on our spiritual practice, and we're going through different midot, different character traits, and have been talking about gratitude and the beauty of gratitude and the complexity of gratitude. And in our tradition, gratitude is actually, the language used for it is hakarat hatov. It's about recognizing the good that we have, which is hard to do. It's hard to do in a world that feels very dark and very heavy and very uncertain. I think even in the uncertainty, it makes it harder to grasp onto the things that we feel deeply grateful for, to find those sparks that are good. And there's a teaching about this Zevach Shlamim, this sacrifice of peace, that is different than any of the other sacrifices that we get in this list. Often sacrifices will bring if we do something wrong, if we've done a sin, we have to make up for something, but this sacrifice itself is done with our yadayim. We do it with our hands. This is the one sacrifice that we have to give for ourselves. We can often send a shaliach, a messenger, to give all of the other sacrifices, but when it comes to gratitude, we have to do it ourselves. The language says it's beyadav, that it's done in his hand, in our own hands. And the Kli Yakar, one of the commentators on the Torah, speaks about this and raises up this idea in saying that anything else can be given to a messenger. When it comes to having to say sorry, actually sometimes it can be even better you don't want to go face to face. You don't want to face God, you don't want to face the person when you're saying sorry, or you know you've done something wrong, although it sometimes can be better to do that. It can be harder, and sometimes it does take actually a person to go ahead of us in order to do that. And we see that with Yaakov and Esav back in Breshit, that he actually sends people to calm him down a little bit. But when it comes to gratitude, and it comes to this offering of gratitude, we have to give that with our own hands. We have to sink into that, and we have to own it. We have to own our own gratitude. And I think that that is actually the gift of what we're given each and every Shabbat, that in the busyness and the chaos and the uncertainty of the world, it's sometimes hard to find those sparks of goodness, to find the moments, and to even look at the people we love so deeply, our community members, our family members, our colleagues, and to say, thank you. I am grateful for you. And I am going to say that. I'm going to say that with my words. I'm going to show that with my actions. And so I hope as we go into this Shabbat of Tzav, the Shabbat of thinking about sacrifices, that we can find the hakarat hatov, that we can recognize the gratitude, the things, the sparks that we're feeling grateful for, and that we can hold them and we can offer them to ourselves, to the people we love, and of course to God.